Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I recently did a haul video with some gifts and some books that I'd brought myself, and I did a quick flip through of this one. This is it Paule? Brun? I'm not sure, I'm really rubbish at pronunciation of names. This is Animals in the Forest, and it's from Amazon UK. I will link a copy down below if you would like to purchase it. And I thought we would have a go at this page, this beautiful fox page. They're fox and they are bullfinch birds, I do believe it translates to. Now, I've tested the mediums out, and I'm really happy to say that black widows work beautifully on this paper. So that's what we're going to be using today, our gorgeous black widow pencils. I've got all the sets, just to give you a heads up. So I should be going through, excuse my chair, I have found one that I want. I just have to wait for payday, so it won't be creaky anymore. Now I know a few of you were really annoyed about these branches that come out of these birds, so we're going to fix that really easily. And that's the first thing we're going to do, because we're going to need time to let it dry. So if we come in and have a look, I've trapped you on my... I've trapped the zoom in button on my tripod. There we go. Finally. I do apologise. Let me straighten you up. There you are. You don't want a crooked neck. There we go. Okay. So what I've got is 2 Posca pens. You could use gel pen, anything that you can colour over. Any acrylic pens that you've got. Anything that will go over these black lines is what I'm trying to say. So I've got beige, and I've just got white, and then brown if we should need it, which is what I think we would use. Now you can colour over. Sorry, I'm really breathless. Just a sip of water. You can colour over Posca, but do be aware that it will mute the tone, and in this case this is what we want. So because this part of him is supposed to be light, so it's going to take a couple of coats and you're going to have to be a bit patient, but I'm going to take my beige Posca and I am going to, in little strokes, I am going to cover this branch that comes out of our fox. We're going to get rid of that. It takes a while, but it works. And it will look okay. I have tested it. Okay. Let's just keep going. And then leave it and just come back to it when it's dry. Now it hasn't covered at the moment, I'm fully aware of that, but you need to get that that layer of Posca down, and then when you go back over it, it will. Okay? So we're going to leave it like that because we don't want to scratch up the paper. We've also got an annoying branch coming out of here. Well, this is much more easily fixed. I am going to take... Oh, let me just grab my pencils. I am going to take flat black. I have got tickets for colouring, but I just wanted to put this in quickly. So I'm going over with flat black, so make it look like that branch has come out from behind, following the shape of the bird's body. Flat black, and then and then just midnight, which is the black widow's black, and then just go back over that. There we go. I mean, obviously that's going to be black anyway. So that branch now goes behind our birdie. So that's that. Right. So what I am going to do now is we're going to have a look at this beautiful leaf. And we're going to get the colours out. That will help, won't it? Now there's quite a few colours, so don't be put off. Now, where can I put that? I'll put it over there. Okay. So I've got, that's where the black went. A black Prisma. It's the only Prisma I'm using, but I do like a bit of the depth that you get with Prisma. However, that Midnight is very good. Okay, then we've got Fang Green, which is a Black Widow. Then we've got Leaf Green, which is a Monarch from the Monarch set. I just want you to know what the symbols mean. Then we've got Cool Green from the Monarch, Mud from the Skin Dark set, and Fawn, which is also a Monarch. Okay, so let's start with this big leaf here. And what I'm going to do is take Cool Green, and I am going to lightly coat this leaf. And you're going to be thinking, oh my God, Lucy, what have you done? Why have you picked the most fluorescent green in the book, in the set, to do a base layer? Well, I want that nice tone underneath. It will stop things. I don't know. I've practiced and I like the look of it. Is that better? Is that easier to understand? Okay. And the Black Widows work beautiful on this paper. Okay, now, I'm just going to sharpen my black because I don't want too much of it. Okay, I am just going to run up with the black up the centre of our leaf. Now that'll just help to really darken up that green, and we're just going to put a little bit at the base here. Just help me darken up the deepest green that I've got. So with that said, we are taking Fang Green and we're going to start to fill that in. So, and we will be able to pull out that smushy black Prisma, which is why I'm using the Prisma. And we're going to bring that out a little bit at the tip. Like this. Just do it lightly because we're going to do this we've got a lot of colours to go on this leaf. But you'll see it's really simple. I don't think anything colouring wise that I do is complicated. I hope not anyway, and I hope that it's all easy enough to follow. Okay, Fang Green. Then we're going to switch to our Leaf Green. And we're going to bring that in. We can go back over these. I just want to make sure that we're happy with the colours, where they are. So I'm going to put that Leaf Green. So we start to switch this to a more olivey tone. So I've shifted my tripod, so I'm hoping that you've got a better image of what I'm doing, so I'm more comfortable colouring. Okay, olive tone. Then we have got Mud. Now, you see all these little like speckly bits on there? We are going to put that in. So we're going to put Mud in. Just sort of randomly. And in here, we'll come back to that. I'm going to go back to our Leaf Green and just bring that out a little bit more. I don't want to muddy that up, excuse the pun, too much. And I'm going to blend over it so it pulls that out. Okay. Then we're going to we'll go back to our Mud. I'm just ad-libbing here really. I have practice, but it's remembering what order I did things in. Anyway, I'm going to come down this side with a bit of that Mud, and over here I don't want too much, just a little bit, and then we're going to take that beautiful fawn colour. Let me sharpen that. So they have some beautiful muted tones in this set. We're going to blend that through and bring that down. Now, I might need to use my Prisma blender, but we'll see. Okay, so before we go any further, let's go back over now and deepen everything up. So if we take our Fang Green and go back in and really get that depth of colour that we wanted. It's quite a challenging page because of all the different greens we need in it. And although Black Widow have the most incredible colour choices, when you start to divide up all the greens and try and do all those different tones, it can be quite challenging. Okay, leaf green again. And we can go over those browns. And then we're going to go back to our cool green before we put any of that detailing in. And that will help us blend through. Okay, back to mud now. Okay. Let's put some darker bits in. We can just deepen that up around that edge a bit. Maybe bring that down. So, and then we're going to bring that brown into the centre there. Okay. Because we're hand colouring, I'm going to go back in with fawn, each leaf will come out differently, there won't be uniform, and if you follow the little blotches on the leaves, it should be fine. We will do another one. So I'm just using that fawn and I'm going over all of that, just smushing that in. There we go. So we've got one, what do you call it? What are they? Horse chestnut trees, aren't they? Yes. So let's do another one together. Let's do this big one because it's got a couple of little spots in it that we can focus on with our browns. So in with our cool green, that fluorescent one that I'm sure you all went, what are you doing? I don't know, it's just nice to, it just keeps that brightness. I think just make sure it's clean, this green, and gives us that wax base. And I find working with Black Widows, it's much easier to colour once you've already got a waxy base down. Okay, we're going to go in with our black, and we're going to bring that down. Now I'm not pressing hard here at all with this, I'm just putting a light coating. A little bit around those berries, and maybe just around the top of this leaf here. Bit of interest there. Okay, in with our fang green. Okay, I'm going to go around that bit. And again, I'm not going to press hard because I want to make sure I get the colours where I want them. And if we press too hard, A, we won't be able to put more layers on, and B, if we're not happy with where they've come out, where you've put your colours, you won't be able to erase them. So it's better to just do a light bit first and then come back to it. Okay, bring that out a little bit more. Okay, then we're going in with leaf green. So actually there's not many colours there for the actual leaf, it's just the little detailing bits. So this is our leaf green, which changes that tone to a more olive, like we said earlier. Okay. There is a new book like this by the same artist, and it's called Amazon, which I was alerted to by a lovely subscriber who commented in the messages to tell me that it was out. So straight on my wish list, ready for payday. That went. Okay, alright. Let's put our browns in. So we've got detailing here. So with mud, I am going to pick that out. And I'm just going to put some little randomy bits in. with mud. Just, I think the secret on here is not to be uniform. Then round this little hole, we'll put some up the side here where it gets really dark. Yeah, just don't be uniform, just be what's the word? Spontaneous. Gosh, that's not a word you hear on Lucy's channel very often, is it? Spontaneous. Okay, we're going in with fawn. Blend that through. And all these colours work well. You don't really have to work that hard to get them to blend. Back in with cool green. There we go. And then we're going to go back in with back to our fan green and make sure that's filled in nice and dark. We'll concentrate on the centre of the leaves later. Okay, and then back to our leaf green. Excuse me. Oh, I'm so pleased that this Black Widows work like this in this book. It's actually probably the best I've experienced them working. The Black Widows is in this book. So if you're a Black Widow fan and you really want to see just what they can do, this is my experience. It might not be yours, but this book really brings out the best in them. So, there we go. Now you can add more details and play about, but my suggestion is just see where the artist has put these little blobs in. If there isn't the little blobs, just make your own. Put some around the edge. I hope that makes sense without me sitting and doing a million leaves with you. Let me just move those to one side. Now, let's go back in with our Posca, and you're going to have to do a lot of layers, but if you do it in little strokes, when you go over with pencil to do the fur here, your pencil will pick that up and you'll see those fur strokes, so it'll be to our advantage. But again, look, it's still not covered. So you're going to have to be patient with it. And we've got patience because we've got a page full of these huge leaves to do. There. Okay. So hopefully when I come back I'll have done all the leaves that match these. I think that's all there are on this page. Apart from these little tiny ones. We might do those a bit different, we'll see. And then hopefully this will have been dry and we can go over it. So I'm going to do a mixture of, I might just do it on camera with you and just leave the fox till last. Alright folks, so I'm going to go and do the mammoth task of leaves and we will meet back up shortly. See you in a sec. Okay folks, so I've done all the leaves and I did decide to do the little ones just the same as we've done all the others. So I kept it as simple as I possibly could, but I think they look really effective actually. I've got just a piece of paper behind just to stop any indentation or ink prints going through. So I did go, let me come in, I did go back over Mr. Fox with my Poscas. This is a little bit of brown that you see, and I went back over with beige and a little bit of white. Now I've left some of that black in there, as you can see. It's by accident. Didn't do it on purpose, but actually I think that'll look really cool when we go over and do his fur on his midsection here. It'll give it a little bit more texture. So if I move myself over and then we can get started. I've got the colours here. This is our fox, and I know there seems a lot again, but let's not panic, just take it one step at a time. So I'm going to take a fawn, which we used in the leaves. So we're going to start with fawn, and I'm going to put some colour in where I want the lightest areas on him. So I'm just going to lightly fill that in. Okay, so he's going to have... Now, remember what I said, this is the following day for me, this is the evening, that it's easier with Black Widows to have, I think anyway, to have that waxy base down, so we can just fill in actually everything and give him a bit of a base coat with fawn. I'm going to move you over again. So, just going to go over it. Now, you can colour over Posca, but it does change the tone, which is fine, and this is good in this case, because we're going to add, just going to add texture to his fur. We're going to go over with darker pencils, don't forget, so let me just make sure you can see all those. So the fawn is from the Monarch range, if you can read my writing. I think the Monarch set must be my favourite, because a lot of those are really well used. Okay, so this is the reason why we did the brush strokes. We did the little strokes when we put the Posca in, because it will add texture. But I think it's going to look really cool, and that brown will blend right in. So if you don't have those colours in Posca and you just have the white, just use the white, it'll be fine. His back leg there, can you see everything? Yeah. And his tail. So a quick coat of that fawn. It's a lovely colour. That's the Monarch set has some gorgeous tones in it. And they're like unusual colours. You don't find them in all the other sets, so that's really nice. So I'm just going to go back over his little face. Okay, let's start with our colours then. So, oh, excuse me, we've got dark chocolate here. We've also got a bit of black, but we'll start with our dark chocolate, which is from the Scorpion set. And we've got all the shading that we need. We know where it needs to be dark, so we're going to start there. And I'm just putting little strokes in. Not long ones, because we don't want his fur, otherwise it's make his fur look long. And they've got quite coarse, short hair. So I'm not going to worry about that Posca, I'm just going straight over it. And it will blend in. Now what I should have done was the background first, because we've got dark colours, but so I was going to do it in pencil. I think I'll probably use some Neo Colour 2 just on my palette board and then just paint it in. But I have got a colour match for you for the Black Widows if you are following along and you want to do it. So we're just filling this area in, just lightly. I'm not going in heavy. And round here. Just keep those strokes short. Like I say, otherwise you'll make him look fluffy instead of quite coarse. So it's been a very busy day for me today. I've been to work, then I went with my son and grandson for his final assessment, and he was formally diagnosed with autism today. He's only 5, so it was a bit of an emotional day for us. We knew it was coming, but it's still emotional when you're told, isn't it? He's oblivious, of course. The world is just as it should be for a 5-year-old to my grandson. Everything's fun and lovely. But yeah, it was a bit emotional. So, how best to get rid of that emotion than to come on and do some colouring with you. Okay, so we're going to bring that down slightly. where our tree was. We can see there's some darker spots, so we'll just plop that in. Okay, let's switch up. Let's go to mud, which we used in our leaves. And we're going to follow those dark spots. It will come together. I know it looks awful, but it will come together, I promise. And that's for everyone that said when I did the flip through, oh, I don't like those things sticking out of them. Well, no, I agree to a certain extent. There's some spaces where they're just not needed, and it ruins I think ruins the beautiful artwork in some cases. Some pictures I actually quite like it. But I thought I'd just show you how easy it is to cover that up. We've got so many brilliant supplies at our fingertips that if we like a book and we like the artwork, we shouldn't be put off by things that we could cover up if we want to change it ourselves. So that would be a good... Now, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is Artex have sent me their brand new soft pastel sticks, and I see that people have already done a review on them, but they're not out until the 14th. I think it's this tomorrow, so I'm hoping that I will get this video up to you and put the Artex ones up first, and we can use them for a background but what was I trying to say? Yeah, please give my video a shot, because I know that Artex specifically asked us not to post until the 14th, which was release date, but I see that people have, so I'm just following the rules, I'm just being a good girl, so please give my video a chance. I'll try and make it interesting with stencils, or I don't know, we'll do something fun with them. Okay, so that was mud. Let's switch now and get chestnut. I have the old Black Widows. The new Black Widows have coloured tips on them like these all do, so it makes it much easier to choose your colour. This is why mine are all numbered, but they're only relevant to me in the order that I've swatched them in, so it just helps me when I'm choosing my colours, because I do have dyslexic tendencies and find it very difficult. I can reach for a number much quicker than I can something with writing on it. So this chestnut now will blend that Posca in, and give him that lovely red fox colour. Go inside his ear, a bit up there. It's a really, really gorgeous colour. We'll do some around his face. Around his mouth and his nose. So his muzzle, isn't it, they call it? Okay, around his eye. And bring that down together. And then when we put the fawn in, this will all blend together really pretty. Okay, a little bit more. We will deepen it all up. Yes, I'm quite excited about Artex pastels. I like if you're a beginner to colouring and hate backgrounds, oh, they are a lifesaver. There's quite a few ways that you can put them down on your page, and just, yeah, so easy. And you can erase them if things go wrong, which is what attracted me to them. And I loved them so much when I first started colouring, because you could go in and think, oh well, you know, if I mess it up, I'll erase it and nobody will be any the wiser. Okay. So let's go back, let's try our oyster now. There we go. This is a bit of a deeper colour. And we're just going to put those, blend that in and bring that up. So instead of circular motions for this, I'm just going backwards and forwards, if you can see, because that will stop, we won't lose the texture of him then. But we can use that to blend over, so it'll help fill in any spots. And we're going to bring that down here, because it's darker than the fawn. Come in up here, and then the fawn will, we can go back in with fawn, and it will take out some of that brightness of it. On his ear. But it really lifts that orange red tone. There we go, bit on there. Okay, and then we just have to keep going and keep building up. So if we now go back to fawn, it's more of a brown tone, so we'll put some of that in. Okay, and then we'll just keep rotating till we're happy. Right, a bit of Prisma black. Let's put a little bit of black in. Be sparing with it, but this will just help deepen up around those brown Posca marks I put in. And it will be almost invisible. Well, it will be invisible when we're finished. You wouldn't even know that branch had ever been coming out of him. So, just darken him up. Just really lightly. I'm just going to darken him up over here. Okay, and then we'll keep going back in. What's the next one? A dark chocolate. Back with dark chocolate. It's just going to take some time. Got to find the right one. There we go. Dark chocolate, and we'll just fill him in. Such a satisfying sound if you can hear that, those pencils. If you can hear it beyond the cars. It's rush hour at the minute. But yeah, I love the sound of pencils on paper. So can you see that those little black bits that I deliberately didn't cover are going to give him texture. Deepen up around that eye. That's better. He's beginning to come, isn't he? He's beginning to get there. There we go. So that was what one was that? Dark chocolate. Let's go back then with, what's next? Mud. We'll go back to mud. Gently around that eye. Bit more of a red tone in it than the dark chocolate has, so So I'm just making sure I stay with the direction of the fur that we've been given in the drawing. We want to darken up around that leg joint there, so we'll make that darker. I'm sorry this is going to be take some time. I don't know how else to show you how I would do it without, you know, it being an actual time really. Okay. Then we want our chestnut. Again, I'm going to be a bit more sparing with it this time, so I'm just going to put it in certain spots just to redden him up a little bit. Let's go in with our fawn. Is that a fawn? Yeah. And I'm just going to go backwards and forwards over what we've coloured. So it'll help blend those colours together. And then we can go back in again. Let's get the mud. Mud. Just put some light strokes in here. Bit more around his face, and it's just a matter of just playing with it, really. I mean, every time, if we had the same picture and we coloured it, every time it would come out slightly different because it's all done by hand, isn't it? Like, I've got a practice one next to me and mine looks completely different to the one I practiced with. So I'm going to take a little bit of white. This is my stubby little white Prisma, so any white that you've got that you like working with, and I'm just going to lighten up the bridge of his nose. Around there. And we're going to add a little bit in here. It will help to smooth, but it also gives us a bit more of a brightness around there. I've gone a bit too heavy-handed. Okay, back in with fawn. I think it's the oyster that's probably a bit too dark. There we go. And we'll just put his little brush strokes back in. And anywhere that's bold, we can fill in. We don't want a mangy fox. Okay, let's have a look at his leg. Right, so dark, actually let's put a little bit of black in here just to really deepen that up. Or his leg joins. I don't like that, needs a little bit more texture there. I'm just using a bit of mud. But we have lost the stupid tree branch, so quite pleased about that. So let's take dark chocolate and do his legs. So I think you get the drill. So we've got dark chocolate. And a little bit of black if necessary where the really dark shading is. There we go. Then we go to mud, blend that in. And then a bit of chestnut, don't we? We need a bit of chestnut. That's what drives me mad about these pencils, is because I don't have the dipped ends. I love them, but I don't have the dipped ends and it makes it really difficult. Okay, a bit of chestnut. I think I've gone a bit dark around his face, but my practice one looks better. Isn't that just typical? But then that's probably because I'm rushing, because I don't want the video to be 6 months long. So a bit of chestnut, and then we'll go in with our fawn and pull all that out. There's not much wants doing on that leg. We'll go back in with chestnut here. I'll bring that out a little bit more. I can fill it in. There we go. And a bit of fawn. Yeah. Might just leave that oyster out. It might be a bit too dark. So, I have gone too dark around his face, but well, it can't be helped. It is what it is now, but I would have liked it to have been a bit, not as dark, but if I deepen up the other areas, maybe his face won't look so dark. So we just have to keep working at it until you've filled in all those areas and you're happy with it. Just deepen up some of that around his ear. Tips of his ear are dark. There we go. Alright, so I'm not finished. You still have to, I've still got to keep going over. I'm blending him. So I'm just using that mud, going back over. Where's the dark chocolate? That's chestnut. Dark chocolate. And we deepen up these darkest of areas here. With that dark chocolate. Sorry, I've gone quiet. Concentrating. And who said we could multitask? Okay. Let's fill that in. I'm going to put a little bit of black in there. So can you see it's going to take quite a time? You've got to just keep working at him. Let's put some fawn now to blend that. Yeah. What do you think, people? Got to do some more down here. His face is going to drive me mad. And this is where I go wrong, because I I'm not happy with things, and then I'll keep faffing and I'll spoil them. So I have to step away. Well, that's better. That's lightened up a bit. It was that oyster that I put in. I don't like that oyster. You might, but I don't like it. There we go. Okay, so we'll make some lighter patches. That really brings out that that sort of fawn colour. That's better. Okay. So I'll keep playing with those colours. Now, oh dear, this is the bit that I'm dreading. So I've got my Caran d'Ache board, and I've got two Caran d'Ache colours here, which is turquoise blue and light cobalt blue. And I've just put them on the rough side of the board, and I've put the turquoise blue and the light cobalt blue and mix them. Because this is too light, this is too dark. So I've just mixed them up. So I want to do this before we go any further. In an ideal world, I should have done this before I put any of the did any of the leaves, but I wasn't sure what I was going to do with the background. So I am taking my water brush, mixing those in and making sure that it is completely dissolved before I go in. And I've tested the paper and it's beautiful. It's not bothered by water one little bit. Okay. So where can I go in? I want to keep the circular shape. So let's go in over here, because if it's darker I can blend it out. So I just want a hint of blue in these spots. I don't want it to be bright and sort of in your face. I just want that hint of sky peeping through. I'm gonna, obviously he's gonna drive me mad, so I'm gonna end up erasing that face, I think. Stupid, isn't it? Or I could put, oh, I don't know. So I could put some white Posca in, but I don't think it'd be fine enough. So what I want to do is put this blue in round the tree and then sort of fade it out. So we get sort of wispy sky, if that makes any sense. So I don't want it smooth and completely blue. I hope this is helpful and you're not bored. A page like this takes a long time. So I'm just going to go over those grass blades, because we can cover the neos with pencil when we've done it. So we'll have some brighter blue bits and then we'll blend them out, which should give us a sort of wishy-washy sky, you know, sort of, what am I trying to say? Sort of gentle cloud sky. I don't know how you'd say it. Can't think, it's too late at night. Wispy clouds they call them, don't they? That's the words. So we can have it darker up here. I just want to keep that sort of circular shape of the image. So can be dark around the top, just so we get some blue in there. I don't want to mess too much there, because I don't know how water resistant black widows are. So I don't want to drag dark green in there, or brown even worse. So I'm just being very careful. I think it's going to look pretty. I just wanted it subtle, not overwhelming. And for our little fox dude and the birds, obviously, our little bullfinches, to remain the focus of the page. And I think it will. I think we'll get there. It could be darker. So, what have you all been working on? And if anything, is there any more books that you've seen, like in my latest hauls and the gifts that I've been so kindly gifted? Is there any books in there that you'd like to see on the channel as a colour along? Please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear. I often get stuck with what I think you'd like to see. So please let me know in the comments below what you'd like to see next on the channel. Like I say, we've got the beautiful Artex pastels, and you wouldn't expect anything less from them. They're really stepping up Artex. I think they're going to be the next like Arteza company. I really do. They've got lots and lots of really good products, so it's very exciting. Right, let's wisp up the centre, shall we? Right, are you in shot? Yeah, you are. Okay. So, I don't know if you don't have the Caran d'Ache Neos. I've had mine. They were probably one of the first water-soluble mediums that I brought. Is my brush dried up? No, it's got water. Yeah, they were probably one of the first water-soluble mediums that I brought, and it's gone all dry. They'll probably last me a lifetime. Why is my brush so dry? Dip it in some water. So I've had these 3 years, 4 years, 3 years, something like that, and they're incredible. I don't get them out as much as I should, which is a shame because they're lovely. I used to use them all the time. But I don't think I'll ever have to replace them because they just last forever. No effect on the back of the page whatsoever. This paper just takes it like a dream. So I'm getting lighter here, and that's just by adding more water. So I just get that hint of blue sky. I didn't want that fake, you know, over the top. Bright blue in there. Okay. So thinking about Mr. Fox, I think what it was the oyster that changed that tone that I don't like. So if you're watching and you want to follow along, my recommendation is leave the oyster out, just use the fawn. Unless you like it like that, you know. I'll fix him, it'll be fine. Okay, let me just come out so you can see. There we go. So that was the effect I wanted. I might have to go back in and put, excuse me, I might have to go back in and put another layering, because it will dry paler than how I've put it in. But What do you think, people? What do you think? I think it's a very, very beautiful image. So what I'm going to have to do is let that go off and dry completely. I'm going to fix Fox's face. So I'm probably going to erase that bit and just put the fawn colour back in. Because I just don't like it. And it will bug me until I do it. So what I'm going to do is step away from the page, which is what I've learnt to do. Step away from the page, have a break. And then I'll come back and have a look with fresh eyes to see if I'm unhappy with him or if it's just me being silly. Alright, so what I'm going to do is go off, let the page completely dry, air dry. I don't like heat gun if I can help it because it makes the page more crinkly. So I'm going to let that completely dry, then we can see if we need to add more colour. I will work on Mr. Fox, finish him off. Same colours, same technique, keeping the light patch in fawn where the artist has indicated, and then we'll come back and we'll get the rest of the image done. Alright my lovely friends, see you in a sec. Alright folks, so I erased the, what colour was it that we didn't like? The olive brown. I took that out and went back in with a bit of olive. I'm still not happy with him. He needs some white, so I'm going to have to be brave. And I think I'm going to have to go in with gel pen, Posca, and have a go. I've got a picture of some foxes in front of me and he should be much paler around here. So I'm going to go for it. If it doesn't work, I will pencil over the top of it. So let's come in and have a look. He's far too brown. So I'm going to be really brave. And like I say, if it doesn't work, I'll go back over it. Whatever. Right, so I've got my beige Posca and I'm going to go in with that to start with, and I'm going to lighten up some of this. And I'm going to bring his chest out in white. So he's just too, it's too dark everywhere. Where else has he got? Like, we need some fluff. We need some fluff, folks. So a little bit around his ear. Where else is he white? Let's see. I'm going to leave his muzzle, I think, but we can do a little bit more up here, the bridge of his nose. Up here. We're going to put some colour in his eye, so that will lift that, but I think this will help. Just give him a little bit of white contrast all up. The one I'm looking at, his face all around here is white. So we'll start with this. And we'll see how that goes. It's got a little bit on his tail too. So shall we put a little bit on the... let's put a little bit on this outside edge here. Just soften him up a bit. He's just too orangey brown. And I did step away. I was very good. I stepped away so that I can reevaluate what I thought. But I think this will help. So let's just do that. And then we're going to let that Posca dry, and then we'll put some white in as well. But already, I think that's lifted him quite a bit. So I might just be brave and carry on. Extend that a little bit up here. Excuse me. So I've literally just got home from work, and I've come straight back up to my room to get this out to you. Right, let's do that. Let's let that dry, shall we? And then we'll put some white Posca on. That's better. I might extend the white Posca out a little bit. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Right. After that hoo-ha. Now, before we can go any further, I want to do the trees, obviously, but they're going to be dark pencil. So we need to fill in this grass. I think that'll help. I'm quite pleased with how the sky dried, that beautiful subtle blue. So, grass. That's leaves. Grass. So, this is quite complicated. But we're going to use similar colours than we used for the leaves. So, we're going to go in with cool green. And I'm going to pop that in. So our cool green, which is a monarch, and I'm going to pop that in. The reason why I'm doing the grass first is because, like I said before, I don't want to drag dark colours in. So ideally, if I'd have thought about it, I'd have done all this before I'd coloured the fox or the leaves. So if you're following along, I would do this first and then do your fox. Just so you don't accidentally drag in any dark colours. Okay, it's a lot of experimentation for me on this video, actually. Which is good for you to see. I know you like it when us creators are not perfect and we don't get things correct all the time, because nobody does. Nobody does. You know, even a paid artist gets things wrong. So, and I like to be true on the channel and show you exactly the process and what happens. And I'm braver with that these days. I feel that I can share if I've made a mistake. I used to feel that everything had to be perfect. But this is a process, isn't it, colouring? You know, we've done the fox. I wasn't happy with him. How do we fix it? So, and I think he'll be okay. I think he'll turn out all right. Just have to trust the process, folks. So, just filling up this. You can't see. I'll move you back in. Just filling up where the grassy areas are. I think that's leaf there, but that's okay. We'll fill that in. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is part of the leaf. So let me just go back in and finish that. So we had, gosh, what a pickle I'm in, folks. That's what happens. I get all flustered. It's stupid. Where is my black? What the heck, as my grandson would say. What the heck? What have I done with the... There it is, hiding. Okay, so put my black in. Deepen that up a little bit around there. Sorry, folks. Then we'll get the greens. So we had... oh my goodness, come on. This is after work brain. Okay, we did. I know we had leaf green, didn't we? Did we? I don't know. We had fan green. Come on, Lucy, wakey wakey. Opal green, fan green. Right, we'll get there eventually, people. I just want to fill this leaf in, otherwise I will end up going over it as grass. Okay. Then we had this one, leaf green. There we go. And then we'll put our browns in. Goes up to there. It's quite difficult to make this one out, it was. Sometimes, like a bit like the mythographic books, you have to sit and work things out, don't you? Okay. There we go. Right, a bit of the browns, which we used mud. We'll put a little bit in that little doodad there. And a little bit there. Just bring that out. I'm presuming it goes in behind there, so we'll do that. Then we'll use our, not our olive brown, beige. Same as we did before, and we'll just blend it through. Okay, now I'm going to try to be a bit more organised. I say that on every single video, and I never am. Anyway. Right. Okay, so that's that leaf done. Right, let's go back to our grass. He's dry. Okay, so our grass is going to be behind here. So this is cool green. A little bit in there. Okay. I'm going to bring that up into there. Anywhere else? Nope. Okay, so we've got cool green. Let's start building up. Oh, post. So I want a bit of olive green now. So, olive green. So I'm just going to pick out some of these tufts of grass. I just want different coloration in there. Just some different areas, and we'll just build it up. We're going to use some darker colours, as you can see on the list. So maybe you can't. Let me come out slightly. Not that far. There we go. Okay. Don't know what's the matter with me today. I'm all over the place. Okay. I'm not being particularly neat. I'll put a little bit in here. A little bit in here. So I'm just kind of following those tufts of grass, filling in different areas, and we'll just build it up with different colours as we go along. And because then it's not one consistent colour, I'm hoping that, and we've got that lovely brown in there, that it won't just blend in with the leaves. Okay, a bit more down here. In there. Right, let's change colour. What have we got? Let's go in with the really dark one, which is our fang green. If I can find it now. I was all organised until I discovered that leaf I hadn't done. Fang green. Okay, so where do we want our dark bits? That's what we have to look for. So we want dark in here. So we'll put some dark grass in there. I'm just doing it lightly, and I'm just following the design and just seeing where, like, if it's underneath or behind the fox or an object, I'm just going to put some dark in, and eventually these colours will meet and hopefully it will look okay, because it's all experimental, folks. Let's put some dark in there. And I'm going to leave it quite loose. I don't want to take away from the artwork, so I don't want big lots of grass tufts everywhere we look, if that makes sense. So, but we will fill the page in. Anyway, I'll shut up and we'll just see what happens, shall we? So, put some dark in here. And in here. I'll darken it around there. And we'll do a little bit, not too much, a little bit of dark around there. And I'm not going to try and attempt to make that look grassy in between. I'm just going to fill it in softly. So I'm not going to try and put grass blades in there, I don't think. Just going to fill it in as background. Okay, right, let's pick another colour. So we've done fan green, olive green and cool green. Let's do let's do leaf green, and let's plop that in. So again, I'm just going over where I've already coloured. I'm just putting, so we've got different colour in there. So just look a bit more interesting and realistic, kind of. Then we can go back to Mr. Foxy. I really hope this page comes together. I hope I don't lose it, you know, I'm not feel confident enough to post this colour with me. Okay, we'll put a little bit of this in here. Just keep that quite light behind that leaf. Okay. Yeah, just so we've filled it in, but it's not. I think it'll work. Fill this bit in. I quite like this olive green. Just bringing that soft background into that sky. That's quite nice. Use that to smooth things out. Okay. Where are we? Let's bring this olive green into here. And then we'll brighten it up. We'll go back in with that cool green, smooth things out. And see if we need the other colours in there. See if I want the other colours in there. I might not. Okay. Alright, what have we got? We've got a bit of opal. Let's put a little bit of that in and see what happens. Opal green. So, some of our darker areas. It's quite a nice bright blue green, so I don't think we want too much of it in there. Just a little bit. Right, I quite like that. Let's take the cool green again and just go over that. Let's just smooth that out, and then I quite like the olive, so I might go back in with the olive as well. So I'm sorry it's taken some time, but this is the reality of colouring a page. Yeah, I quite like the olive over it, so we might go back in, put a little bit more. I'm just picking random colours. So this is leaf green. Just defining those little areas of tufts that we haven't got in there. Smoothing out any others. Back in with our cool green, and let's fill this space up. Smooth out in behind those leaves. I'm just going to let it fade out round there, rather than too much texture, if that makes sense. There we go. Then I'm going to go and have a look, see what's dropped through my letterbox. It seemed quite heavy. I don't think I've been naughty. I don't think I've ordered anything. But you never know with me. I might have done. Right, where's the olive green? Let's go back to olive green, because I really like those two colours together. What is that? A spider or something. And I'll just use that to help blend in a bit more. Just blend that through a bit more. And then hopefully we should be able to go back to our usual format of a colour with me's, where I can go off, show you what to do, go off and finish it, and then come back. But okay, I need to smooth that out, so what shall I pick? Let's get the fang green. Fang green, and we'll just put some detail in with that. So I'm just picking out grass blades. Okay, leaf green. I might have got it too dark, I might have to erase this bit as well. Yeah, I don't like it. Let's go in, folks. Oh, what a colour with me, I don't know. But, yeah, this is the reality. Okay, leaf green. Not leaf green, cool green. Oh my god, this is such a mess, this colour with me. I do apologise. Right, coming in. Cool green. And then I like these two colours, so maybe I should just stick with these. So this is olive green. Let's put that olive in. There we go. I'm sorry, folks. Right, and then we're going to go in with leaf green. Let's sharpen it a bit. Take your time, Lucy. Okay. So I'm just going to gently now fill in some areas with this leaf green. And then a bit of blending and leave it at that. come back over to this side. Still using the same colour. Just blend it and smooth it through. Leave some of those nicer light patches. There we go. I get so stressed with doing videos at the moment. I colour with me's anyway. I don't know what it is. And then I'll practice and then come on camera, and because I get stressy or anxious about it, I can't do it the way I practice. It's so stupid. 3 years down the line, 3 years this month of YouTube, and I still get panicky. I don't know if there's any other creators out there watching that. Do you still feel like that? Or do you just go with the flow? Okay, I'm quite pleased with that. I don't want to mess with it too much. I think we do need a bit darker up here. So I think if I take, I'm not so keen on that. Let's take the grass green, or the green grass rather. Give that a sharpen, and then we'll just put a little bit of that in there and then stop messing. We can always come back to it when the picture's complete if you then feel that it needs darker areas or more in there. So I've taken green grass, and let's just a few areas, just select a few areas to bring out some difference in those grass blades. Right, my goodness. That was a chore, wasn't it, for a bit of grass? And then I'm going to smooth that over. Okay. Smoothing. Alright. And then cool green, which was our initial lay down, just put that back in, 'cause it's nice and bright. Gonna help to blend everything through. Shouldn't really be the focal point of our page anyway, should it, the grass? So, okay. You don't need to see me just keep going back over it with cool green. It's just smoothing it over. Alright, I'm going to leave it alone for a minute. We can come back to it. Right, let's have a look at Mr. Foxy Dude. I'm going to come back in. So, I actually think that looks quite good. So I'm now going in with a Jelly Roll White, and I'm just going to add some strokes to that. I'm not going to push my luck with it. Just let's fluff him up. So I'm just going to take my time, fill in. We need a little bit. I want some fluff on his ears. A little bit of fluff there. Bring that up to his eye. And his muzzle around there. Yeah, I don't want to push my luck. And then if it's too white, I can go back in with my beige Posca and just tone that down a bit. And then I'm just going to sort of let it fade away. Less and less lines into him. I know it looks pretty stark on camera at the moment, but let's go back to his tail. Put some white in there. We'll see what it looks like when it dries. But he needed something. He was just way too samey. I hope you're prepared for another marathon colour with me, because this is going to be it. And then we'll do the same, we'll just less and less lines, let it fade out. Just so it sort of melts into his other fur. Okay, alright. Now, I'm just going to do the same here, just sort of less and less white lines, just so it blends in a bit more. And then, excuse my phone, and then we'll go in with a bit of beige Posca when this is dry, and then I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Okay, might need a little bit of white in here. Above his nose. Alright, step away. Now, very stark, but I'm going to let that dry, and what I'll do off camera is just go back in with my beige Posca or gel pen or whatever you've got, and I will just do some little lines again, and I'll come back when it is finished. And then we can start going back to the format of our usual colour. Oh, what is going on today? Stop! Go back to the usual format of our colour alongs, where I'm showing you what to do, coming on, going off. But these bits were important, so I had to share them with you. So I'm going to go off and finish Mr. Fox's fur, then I'll come back and I will try to be very organised, and we will do the rest together. Alright, my lovely friend, see you in a sec. Okay folks, I've messed about as much as I can with the fox, and I'm going to leave him alone, as is. Yeah, he is what he is. So, we have got the chestnut casings, conker casings that we need to do. Obviously the trees will do last, because, like I say, about dragging colour in. And the berries, and obviously little birdies. So, before I forget how to do it, I'm going to bring you in to show you how to do these, whatever they're called, the little conker cases, chestnut cases. Right, and this is the... this is how we're going to do them. So, similar colours to what we've already used. I'm going to use cool green, and I'm going to put a light coating of cool green all over it. Okay. So cool green. I'm trying to be in order. Then I'm going to take dark chocolate. And what I'm going to do, don't think I'm mental, I'm going to come lightly round the outside, just lightly. Around the outside, and I'm going to run up slightly in a sort of arc there, almost as if that's where it would open, ready for the conker to come out. Alright, do need a little bit of colour, Lucy. Can you see? Yeah. Okay. Then I'm going to take charcoal green, really pretty colour, and I'm going over that chocolate. Around that. And this is because I want this different tone in colour than we've got in those leaves. So this should help. So charcoal green. Then we're going to take opal green, and we're going to put that round the edge. going over those colours. So give us this really dark, nice green, and at that centrepiece there. So cover up what we've just done. I know that sounds sensible, but it will change the tone. Go back to our charcoal green and go over all of that. Put a little bit of that down there. And then in with, we've done our opal, in with our leaf green over the entire thing. I'm going to have to do a better blend than that. So we'll just get that leaf green in. Then I'm going to come back with my dark chocolate, so I'm just going to sharpen that. Let's go in with our dark chocolate and just soften that up. Fill in those edges. Okay, dark chocolate back in with our opal green. Okay, and then a little bit, let's go back to our cool green. In there. And then finally a little bit of olive brown. Okay, let's do another one together. Let's do this big one here. Okay, so we're going to put our cool green in, then our dark chocolate where we want that deep rich colour. Just come up a little bit there. Okay, softly bring that out. There we go. Then we'll go in with our charcoal green, go over that brown. So we're changing those tones. Bring that out. Okay, in with our opal green. I want that nice and dark because it's behind that other one. That up there. Go over with our leaf green. I don't know why I made it look so complicated on the first one. Leaf green. Bring in a bit of our olive brown. Ah. Can go back in with a little bit of our cool green if you want. Brighten some of those spots up. There we go. That's how I'm going to do those. Not too complicated, but a different tone of green. Let me just go and shut my bedroom door because my washing machine's going to start spinning. Yes, the bearings on my washing machine are going. So when it spins, it's hideous. Okay, let me move those to one side. So should we have a look at these little birdies? We'll do the big one together, I think. These are the colours that I've got. Now, if we focus on this one first, and then as we move down, we'll do the feathers and, well, let's do Picasso Sky. Incidentally, Picasso Sky, if you don't have the Neo colours, was the colour that I was going to suggest you did the soft background with. And I never did tell you, so, and white. So, at the base of his little butt here, we're going to take Picasso Sky, and we're going to put that in there. This is a beautiful blue-grey colour. So these are our little bullfinches. And then we're going in with Greythorn. Go over that. A little bit of Greythorn. There we go. Okay. So both birdies, at the base of each their tails, they have this blue-grey colour. Gorgeous little birds. Back in with that Greythorn. Okay. There we go. Alright, let's do the gorgeous colours. So, we have got our darkest colour here is the Monarch Rusty colour. They've got beautiful like red, orangey breasts here. So we've got the dark colours. I'm going to start and blend that into that grey. Just gently. So where we've got the indication of these darker spots is where we're going to put this rust in. Or rusty, should I say. I'm going to come around the base there a little bit. Make sure you feather it out so you can blend the next colours in. There we go. We want a little bit over here. And down. Feathering it out so we get that nice soft edge for our next colour to blend in. And we're going to pop that up here too. Feather that down around there. Okay. Alright, so next that was the Monarch, by the way. And then next we're taking a Bloodshot, which is a dragon. And we're going to go over that rust and bring that out. I'm sorry if my thumb is getting in the way. I mean, I'll try and move it, but I'm in a bit of pain with my hands today. So we're going to bring this Bloodshot in. Make sure we're softening that off. We're going to come a little bit under that wing with it. Softly. Around here. Okay, then we're going to take Ladybug, which is from the original Black Widow set. We're going to backtrack and go over all of that. Again, this is just lightly, I'm not over pressing. I think something on that page. Okay, lightly over this bit. Because I want to turn him into a sort of orangey colour, but I don't want it to be too bright. So that's our Ladybug. Then we're going to go in with Sundown. Beautiful colour, which is a Monarch. So we're going to go over all of that. This will lift everything and give him that orange tone that these birds have. Now, in my opinion, I don't know what you think, I think the Monarch pencils are softer than the other ones. Do you think there's a different formula? I know they've said that they're not different formula, but I think they are. I think there's a secret formula. What do you think if you've got all the Black Widow sets? Do you think they're different? Okay. So we've got a nice orange shoe. Let's now go back to Rusty, go over that, because we only did that lightly if you remember, and now we can deepen up the colours. Help tone that orange down, and put in a little bit of depth where we want it. Under his wing, bring that out a little bit more. Okay. And then back in with a Bloodshot. So yes, you're going to say, well, why are you colouring over what you've just coloured? But it changes the tones of the pencil, the shade of the pencil changes. Okay, and then back to our sundown. Let's put that in instead of ladybug. And then we've got one very cute little red-breasted bird. Okay, then we go to Picasso Sky and Greythorn. And we're going to put the Picasso Sky in where the dark bits are. So all around here. Let it fade out. I'm going to put a little bit at the top of those feathers. Around here. Up onto his head. And into his beak. Then we've got it down his tail. And actually, it looks really cool if you go over the black. Because you just get that nice grey tone. Look at that, isn't that cool? Okay, then we're going to take our Greythorn and we're going to blend those in together. Just like we did before for the little butt piece. That sounds so wrong, I'm so sorry. For the little bottom. Okay, feeling a bit more relaxed now. Should do, this video is going to probably be about 3 hours long. Then we're going to take white and blend that through. Just do some smishing. I'm using my Prisma white, but you can use whatever trusty white you have. Give that a blend. Go back in with my Greythorn. I'm just lightly going over that white area. A little bit of Greythorn in there. And we'll do the same on his body. There, isn't that cute? Alright. Now, where have I just chucked those? Look, see, I just can't be organised. Olive brown. Olive brown, I'm going to sharpen this for his little legs. Aren't they cute? Beautiful little birdies. Right, let me just get my picture back up. Okay, olive brown. Carefully round his little toes. That's part of them as well. And then, if I can find it... No... What the heck? I keep picking up the same pencil. It's right in front of me. It's not. Here it is. Oyster. It looks green almost on the barrel. So a little bit of oyster. Just brown them up. There we go. And the other bird is exactly the same. So we're going to do that exactly the same. Okay, so I want to sharpen my pencil so we can do these berries. We're just going to use 2 of those colours. We're going to use Rusty and we're going to use Ladybug. And obviously these are quite tiny spaces, so if we move up, let's pick these larger berries in hope that I can show you those. So I'm just going to, at the bottom, you'll need a sharp pencil. I'm going to put that Rusty in because it's nice and dark. Like that, round there. And then by contrast, the brighter Ladybug, which is an orangey red. So hopefully we'll get a little bit of difference in those berries. If not, I'll go back in, I'll find an even darker red. Let's try just deepening that up. Wish the weather would make its mind up today. One minute it's gloriously sunny, you can probably see the light going in and out, and the next minute it's dull and dreary. Wish it'd make its mind up. Okay, berries done. Right, are you going to bear with me while I find the tree stuff, or do I have to cut? Trees, I think I might have them. I think I might have it. Right, here we are. Trees. Have I got everything ready? Oh my gosh, really? Where should we start? Let's start at the tree by the fox. Okay, so we've got black, we've got dungeon, which is a dragon, chalk tone, which is skin tone dark, mud, which is skin tone dark, and the reason I've got the little arrow there is because we're going to use them in I've written them down in the wrong order. And then we've got light mocha, which is beautiful colour. Okay, so we are going to start with our dungeon before we add any black. Now, on this image, we've got the very dark bit there. So we're going to start filling in that with dungeon. And we are going to follow the artist's work. There's a leaf there that hasn't been filled in. I am fed up with leaves. Oh dear me. Okay, so we're going in with dungeon. Let's pick out our dark bits. Put like in here. Round there. It's dark. We can add black later. Okay, dungeon. Let's add mud next. So we're using mud now. We're going to blend that in. And I'm going to follow those darker areas. I'm going to leave some gaps just so it's sort of a bit more randomised. Let's put the mud in there. Okay, let's get our chalk tone now, which is a bit of a duller colour, but a nice go-between between those two. So I'm just sort of randomly sticking it in. It will blend in. Yeah, I can't even speak. Look, it will blend in. Okay. Bring that down a little bit. It's a good go-between colour. And then the gorgeous light mocha. So that's our last colour. And we're going to put that in. And we're going to use that to blend through. And then we'll go back in and deepen up some areas. Okay. So we're going to take black now. I've got my black Prisma, but whatever black you're comfortable with, sparingly I'm going to put that in our darkest spots. Just lightly, because the black Prisma will spread quite a lot when you add another pencil over the top. Alright, and then we start again. So we'll go back to dungeon. And we'll put that back in. You can see what difference that black does make to that colour. Okay, then we'll go mud. Gives us that lovely red tone. So we just get all this difference in the tree bark, and then it's not so flat and dead. Okay, then chalk tone. It's coming, look, bit by bit, it's coming alive. And then back in with our beautiful light mocha. there. And then just keep, what's this colour? Dungeon, this is our darkest one. And then just play with where you want to deepen up. If you do, mud. And there, that's our bark. That's how we're going to do it. So I'm just literally just following the artist's lines and then just blending through. There we go. Alright folks, let's come out and have a look. Oh, no, no. There we go. So I am going to go off now because this video is really long. And actually we could cover that branch too, couldn't we? Maybe I just leave them alone. I'm going to go off, do the other bird, the berries, the little doodads, whatever they're called. And we'll meet back up. Oh! Alright my friends, see you in a second. Okay folks, so all of a sudden it came together really quickly. So the only thing that I did off camera that I hadn't shown you was I just took my white Posca and probably overkill, but I just put a little highlight dot in each little berry. So probably overkill, and you know I like to finish the page off with you, but I just think the little dot just sort of singles out each of those berries. Helps it stand out a bit. I put a little dot in his eye and a little dot in this bird's eye. Let's do the same with this one. Just a tiny one. There we go. Too big. I'll go back over with some black. Why do I do it to myself, folks? My hands are not steady. Right. That's our page, our first page done in this incredible book. I love them. I love this series of books. I know I had trouble with the fox, so if you've stuck with me this far, you're a hero. Thank you. Yeah, there's not much more I can say. We did it anyway. It came together in the end. I'm really pleased with how the trees came out. I love the leaves. My fox is okay now. I'm not so desperately sad about him. I would have liked to have done something better with the grass area, but I don't know what more I could do really. And actually I like the unity of all the greens that we've got, and then just the little pops of colour from the berries and the birds. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Before you see this video, you'll have seen my Artex, well I will have posted my Artex pastels, which I'm very excited about. I know you'll have probably already seen them, but please give my video a chance. I really want Artex to know just how much I think of their products, and I want you guys to see them too. So we'll have a little play with those. Let me know in the comments if there's any colour alongs, or sorry, colour with me's that you'd like to do in future, so that I know what's popular, what you'd like to see, you know, and I'm not just wittering on to myself. So thank you so much for joining me, and if you've got this far, like I say, you're a hero. Thank you so much. So until we meet again in the very near future, take really good care of yourselves, my lovely friends. Bye bye.